Video is given by Teach Your Brain. Be a teacher of yourself. Hello friends, welcome to my channel again. In this session, we are going to see about Class 7 Biology, Chapter 1, Nutrition in Plants. So again, what is nutrition? I have already said, right? The process of utilization of food. The food we eat is the nutrition. It contains of nutrients. And what are nutrients? Nutrients are the components of food. Okay, it is present in the nutrition or in food that is necessary for our body. The nutrients are necessary for our body. It provides nourishment to us, and there are 7 basic nutrients, as I said before. They are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, water, minerals, vitamins, and fiber. So now we are going to see about mode of nutrition in plants. So while we see about nutrition in plants, there are 3 modes of nutrition. One is autotrophic, which is commonly seen in plants, right? Autotrophic nutrition, it means the process of making food on its own. So plants have the ability to make its food on their own, right? So next, heterotrophic. It depends on some plants. There are some plants which is green in color, but also it depends on other animals, small insects, such as insectivorous plants. So these are known as heterotrophic plants. Then saprotrophic. What is saprotrophic? So it depends upon dead and decaying animals, matter. So it converts the nutrients in the dead and decaying animals by secreting digestive juices on them and convert them into a soluble form. It grows on them. So for example, fungus, this mushroom, etc. So now autotrophic nutrition. So I have said before, right? Autotrophic mode of nutrition is that it enables organisms to make their own food. So by using simpler substances, they can make their own food. So this is called autotrophic nutrition. So what are autotrophs? The examples of autotrophic nutrition. So the organisms that can make their own food are called autotrophs. So the main example here is plants. So plants are the most major example that can make their own food. So they are the main example of autotrophs. Why they can make their own food means they are green in color. Why they are green in color? Why can't it be in other different colors? Yeah, there is a reason for this, because it is green in color. It has green colored pigments. We have seen chlorophyll. Right? Chlorophyll contains green colored pigments. It is present in plants. So by chlorophyll, it makes its own food through the process known as photosynthesis. So now, what is photosynthesis? Before going to photosynthesis, we would have the doubt, right? If it can make their own food, if plants can make their own food, then where will it store its food, and where will the food be made, right? Where the foods are made and where it will be stored? All answer is leaf. So the leaf is the only part in the plant that can make the food and store it. So photosynthesis, for the process of photosynthesis, we need some raw materials. Just I have said, right? Simpler substances. Autotrophs mean simpler substances. From the simpler substances, they can make the food. Their own food. So the simpler substances we are going to see now. The first one is water and minerals. So water and minerals. When we see about that, how can plants take in water and minerals? So actually, water and minerals are present in the soil. They are present in the soil and are absorbed by roots. As they are present in the soil, we know plant is divided into shoot and root. You have learnt in your primary classes, right? So while we are separating shoot and root, the root is present inside the soil. So the water and minerals also present inside the soil. So the roots absorb the water and minerals. It is the root is the only part that absorbs water and minerals from the soil and transport it through to the leaves. So this is done by vessels. Vessels are some tubular structures present inside the stem that would help the water and minerals to transport it to the leaves. The water and minerals are transported to the leaves by vessels present in the stem. So this picture shows the photosynthesis. So here in this picture, we can see here water. This water is going through the roots. Okay, the roots are absorbing the water, and it is going to this leaf. In this leaf only photosynthesis is happening. Okay, so in this leaf the photosynthesis is happening. So the lights are absorbed by chlorophyll, and carbon dioxide is absorbed by stomata, the tiny spores present on the leaf. Okay, surface of leaf, it is present on the surface of leaf, and the carbon dioxide is taken in and oxygen is given out. Okay, so when these three combine and photosynthesis is occurring, the result will be the food, right? So it is the carbohydrates which is the food of the plants. So they are stored in the form of starch. Okay, it is stored in the leaf but in the form of starch. Okay, so next is carbon dioxide. Okay, it is present in the air, right? It is present in the air and are absorbed by tiny pores. Okay, it is absorbed by tiny pores present on the surface of leaves. It is known as stomata. Okay, so you have learned before, right? Stomata is present on the surface of leaves. Okay, so this helps in gaseous exchange. Okay, it absorbs the carbon dioxide and gives out oxygen. Okay, oxygen is required for us for breathing, and the main important part is photosynthesis occurs only in the daytime and not in nighttime, right? So at daytime it takes in carbon dioxide and gives out oxygen. At night time it takes in oxygen and gives out carbon dioxide. Okay, so next, sunlight. So the sunlight energy, okay, the energy from the sunlight is absorbed by chlorophyll. So this chlorophyll is a green pigment, right? So this chlorophyll which is present in the leaves, it absorbs the sunlight for photosynthesis. It traps the sunlight. Okay, so again see, the green color in the leaf or the stem, it absorbs the sunlight. Okay, next, equation. So there is an equation given in your book, right? So carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of sunlight and with the help of chlorophyll gives carbohydrate plus oxygen. Okay, so I have said it already, right? So carbon dioxide is taken in by stomata and water is taken in by roots, and sunlight is trapped by chlorophyll, right? So the first line is carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of sunlight with the help of chlorophyll. So in the presence of sunlight with the help of chlorophyll, okay, chlorophyll traps sunlight, so with the help of chlorophyll gives carbohydrate and oxygen. So I have said it right. It takes in carbon dioxide and gives out oxygen. So the byproduct is oxygen. Okay, and carbohydrates are end products. Oxygen is given away, right? It does not store oxygen, it stores only carbohydrate. The carbohydrates are converted into starch and are stored in the leaf. That's why I said stored in the form of starch. Okay, then have you ever think why photosynthesis, why do we need photosynthesis? Why should plants perform photosynthesis, right? I have said already that all living organisms directly or indirectly depend on plants. Okay, so if plants, if we should live means then plants should live, right? So it needs photosynthesis for food. It can get its food by photosynthesis only. So energy of sunlight is used to prepare food from carbon dioxide and water. Okay, and then for main example we have to take oxygen. Okay, it takes in carbon dioxide and gives out oxygen. Oxygen is needed for our breathing, right? It is a byproduct of photosynthesis. I said it does not store oxygen and it gives out oxygen, so we need oxygen to breathe. Okay, and we can get food only if plants get food. Okay, we can grow only if plants grow and we take in plants, right? So from these points only we are concluding that photosynthesis is important in our life. Okay, then desert plants. So have you ever thought how do desert plants photosynthesis occurring. So actually in deserts there is a scarcity of water, right? Like here, like in this place, like in well developed country, they may have water, okay, but in desert place is different from the green plain and beautiful places, right? Right, so desert has the scarcity of water. Nowadays even cities have scarcity of water, then think how deserts may be suffering. So desert plants, they have spines. Instead of leaves, they have spines. So in normal plants, I have said that photosynthesis takes place in leaves, right? So in desert plants, leaves are converted into spines. Then where will the photosynthesis occurs? The photosynthesis actually occurs in their stems. Even though their leaves are converted into spines, their stems are green in color. Okay, so their stems carry out photosynthesis. In this picture you can see these are all cactus, right? It has many spines, so they are the leaves, and their stem is green in color, and that green colored stem carry out photosynthesis. Okay, then cell. What is a cell? Actually, cell is actually the basic unit of life. Okay, so our body has millions and millions of cells. Okay, then it consists of many cell organelles. A cell can be only seen through a microscope. Then think how small it will be. It is so small and present in billions and billions. Okay, so it consists of many small cell organelles in it. Okay, the first one we are going to see here is cell membrane, which is the boundary of the cell. It will be thin in shape, and it is present as the boundary around the cell. It is also known as selective membrane because it only selects the things which should go inside the cell or come outside the cell. So in this you can see this cell membrane, right? This is a tiny outer covering, right? Then nucleus. When you see about nucleus, in the center, okay, center a spherical shaped organelle is present, so it is known as nucleus. Okay, actually nucleus is the central spherical structure, and it controls the activities of cell. Okay, nucleus controls the activities of cell. And then cytoplasm. What is cytoplasm? You can see the jelly-like substance around nucleus and inside cell membrane. So it is known as cytoplasm. Once again I can say this. So here this white colored space is a jelly-like substance. Here only other cell organelles are present. Okay, so in this small spherical shaped blue or some blue green colored, this is known as nucleus. Okay, and this jelly-like substance is cytoplasm, and this outer covering, this outer covering is actually cell membrane, and the small are known as mitochondrion, which you will study later. Photosynthesis in other colored leaf. Okay, so in this picture, right, here you can see some green color with yellow, here red with green, and here yellow with red. Actually these contains green color, these contains chlorophyll, but they are masked with other colors, they are covered with other colors. So here you can see it is covered with red color, here yellow, and here red also with yellow. Okay, so here see here all leaves have chlorophyll, but in some plants chlorophyll is masked by other colors, that is masked here. It means that it is covered by other colors. Okay, so here masked means covered by other colors. And now even though it is masked by other color, photosynthesis occurs there also. Okay, then now we are going to see about algae. What is meant by algae? So algae is nothing but they are the green patches. Okay, these green patches in the pond, fresh waters, these are present only in the fresh waters, and these green colored organisms. Okay, these green colored patches, they are known as algae. Okay, so these are actually these are actually single celled organism. Algae is actually a single celled organism. Okay, and when they are found in water like this, there are many algae. Okay, then now we are going to see about the synthesis of nutrients other than carbohydrates. So we have I have said that carbohydrate synthesis, right? So what are all used to prepare carbohydrates? That is carbon dioxide, water are used to prepare, right? So carbon dioxide and water consists of carbon and oxygen, right? These carbon, hydrogen and oxygen are present in carbon dioxide, water, right? So these are used to synthesize carbohydrates and fats. So these converts carbohydrates and fats into starch. Okay, so the end product is actually carbohydrates, which it stores, right? So they store food in the form of starch. But protein is actually different from carbohydrates and fats. It is actually a nitrogenous substance. Okay, so it is a nitrogen substance. Okay, so these are not synthesized easily. Okay, but we know that nitrogen is present in the atmosphere, right? It is the major component of atmosphere, right? But plants can't take that nitrogen easily. So certain bacteria such as rhizobium, right? Rhizobium is present in the soil that helps plants, okay, by converting the atmospheric nitrogen into soluble form, and then it releases that into soil. Okay, when after it releases, the roots of the plants can easily absorb them along with the water and minerals. They can absorb the soluble form of nitrogen, and then I have said, right, now rhizobium, when we see about rhizobium, they are present in the roots of leguminous plants. Okay, because rhizobium cannot make their own food. Okay, rhizobium, they can't make its own food, so it depends on plants for its food. So rhizobium provides nitrogen, a soluble form of nitrogen, whereas plants give food to rhizobium. Okay, and this is an example of symbiotic relationship, which you will read in the last. And then this does not need fertilizers, so we do not need to spray any fertilizers or manures in case of getting nitrogen. When the plant has rhizobium in its root, it is known as leguminous plants, and these plants don't need fertilizers at all. Actually, rhizobium is actually present in most of the pulses. The plants which provide pulses, its root consists of rhizobium. Plants absorb this nitrogen from the soil along with water. Okay. Next, replenishment of nutrients in soil. For class 6 I have said already, but now after harvesting, okay, after harvesting there will be no nutrients in the soil. So farmers add certain fertilizers or manures that contain that particular nutrient. Okay, so the most wanted fertilizer is the fertilizer that consists of nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus. Okay, NKP, commonly known as NKP, as nitrogen, N for nitrogen, K for potassium and P for phosphorus. Its name is NKP. Okay, so after the harvesting is done, there will be no nutrients, right? Actually, the plants which were grown on that soil will absorb all nutrients, so it doesn't have, the soil won't have any nutrients. So the farmers will add some fertilizers and manure. Then second is rhizobium. It converts the atmospheric nitrogen into soluble form and is present in the roots of leguminous plants. Leguminous plants are actually the plants that produce dals, pulses. Okay, so here, see, this is the root of the leguminous plants. This is actually the root of leguminous plants, and this small small spherical or cone shaped, this is actually the rhizobium. Okay, this is the rhizobium. So next, when you see this picture, what you will come to the conclusion, what conclusion you will give? As you have seen in your book, this is a picture of cuscuta, that is a marble on a tree. So other modes of nutrition in plants. Okay, first one here is heterotrophics. So far we are discussing about autotrophic nutrition, and now we are going to heterotrophic nutrition. In this, first, host and parasite. Okay, host and parasite are present. So in this, host is actually a plant on which another plant climbs. Okay, actually the parasite is the plant that climbs on another trees. Okay, so it climbs on another trees to deprive its nutrients. So here you can see in the picture yellow color tubular forms. Yes, this picture you can see this yellow color tubular forms, right? So these yellow color tubular forms, do not contain chlorophyll. Okay, they don't contain chlorophyll, and so they can't make their own food. So it depends on other foods. Okay, as they are yellow in color, but they are not in green color, right? So they don't contain chlorophyll, and that's why it takes ready-made food from other plants. That's here this yellow color, the tubular structures, these are what cuscuta. So it is an yellow tubular structures that twins around the branch and stems. Okay, and this is actually the parasite in this tree. Take that tree inside is palm tree. If you take it as palm tree, then this cuscuta is the parasite and the palm tree is the host. Okay, host is the plant on which the parasite climbs. Okay, so here this yellow color tubular structures are called parasite, this parasite, and then the tree inside. Okay, the tree inside is actually known as host. Okay, then now insectivorous plants. So look here, this plant, its leaf, okay, its leaf is a part of its leaf is converted into a pitcher like. Okay, so a part of its leaf is modified into a pitcher like structure. Okay, this pitcher like structure. Okay, so this is the stem. Okay, you can see that line, right? This is the stem, and from here the leaf arrives, and this top, from this top it gets converted into pitcher. Okay, this petiole, and it converted into pitcher. Then here there will be a top. This is actually an apex, that is, apex means top. Okay, so this apex helps to trap the food. So when an insect comes and sit over this circular space, then the lid automatically closes. Okay, so the pitcher plant inside, it contains hair downwards. Okay, it consists of hair which faces downwards. Okay, for example, if this is the pitcher plant, then it consists of hair which is directed downwards like this. Okay, and this is called lid. If an insect sits over here, then the lid automatically closes and the insect is directed towards inside. Okay, when an insect sits here, the lid automatically gets closed and the insect is directed towards inside, and inside that it secretes digestive juices. Okay, it secretes digestive juices inside the pitcher. Okay, so that's what I have given here. A part of its leaf is modified into pitcher like structures, and the apex, that is the top, okay, of leaf forms lid. Okay, that automatically closes its mouth when a fly or a insect comes and sit here. Okay, So hope you have understood this. Next, saprotrophic. What is saprotrophic? I have said it before, right? It grows on dead and decaying animals. Okay, these actually are mushrooms. Okay, these grow on dead and decaying animals. Okay, so it takes in nutrients from dead and decaying matter. Okay, so one of the major example for this is fungi. These grow on moist foods. Actually, fungal spores, see here, fungal spores, which is a component of fungi, they are generally present in air, and when they see a wet or warm place, they go there, germinate, and then start growing. So it grows mainly on moist foods. Okay, va? So they actually secrete digestive juices on the matter and convert them into a soluble form. Okay, it converts them into soluble form so that it can digest easily. Okay, so fungal spores, which is a component of fungi, is actually generally present on air, and when they land on wet and warm things, they grow and germinate, that is, they germinate and grow. Okay, next, what is symbiotic relationship? So I have given this example, right? Rhizobium and tree. When I said about rhizobium and tree, this rhizobium provides solution form of nitrogen to tree, right? And tree provides shelter and food. Okay, where tree produce shelter and food to rhizobium. Okay, here symbiotic relationship is actually where the organisms live together and share shelter and nutrients. If one organism shares shelter, then the other would share its food or nutrients. Okay, in case of rhizobium, tree provides shelter, okay, and rhizobium provides nutrients. Okay, then here fungi and tree, when we see about fungi and tree provides nutrients and shelter as well as shelter. Tree provides nutrients as well as shelter to fungus, and fungus actually helps tree to take up tree usually takes up nutrients and water from soil through roots, but certain fungus are there which can help tree to take up nutrients and water. Okay, next is lichens. Okay, lichens are actually the symbiotic relationship of fungus and alga. Okay, fungus and alga. So here fungus provides shelter. Okay, fungus provides shelter, water and minerals, whereas alga provides food. Okay, so here fungus provides shelter, alga provides food. Okay, so next, for example, for that first one, see here I have said that rhizobium and tree. So for this, here rhizobium and this tree, and next is fungus and tree. So these are fungus. Okay, these white colors are fungus, and this tree, the stem of the tree, it is present, and alga and fungus. Look here how alga, these green patches, and this fungus combine. Okay, so today's session, that is class 7 biology chapter 1, is over. So if you have any doubt, you can tell me regarding your doubt through email and Instagram. Feel comfortable with us. So you will get another video on class 8 biology chapter 1 on 27th, that is coming Thursday. Thank you. Subscribe for more videos.